Transparency and effective communication are key components for the credibility of the central banks as they deliver their mandates. She was speaking at a media briefing at the International Monetary Fund and World Bank annual meetings in Washington.
The IMF head, Christine Lagarde, says that tariffs on all US-China trade will put at risk 0.8 percentage points of global growth.
If you model tariffs on a large portion of the goods that are traded, you take the entire volume of goods traded between the US and China in particular, 500 billion. You apply tariffs to that. You are at risk, you're putting at risk 0.8% of global growth. If on the other hand, you eliminate only 25% of the barriers on the trading of services, you obtain the same result, except positive. So minus 0.8 if you put heavy tariffs on the goods, plus 0.8 if you eliminate 25% of the tariffs on services.
On Venezuela, Lagarde told reporters that it will require a majority of IMF members to recognize Venezuela's opposition leader, Juan Guaido, as the country's leader for the IMF to move in and help.
We can only be guided by the membership. So it's not a question of us deciding. It has to be a large majority of the membership actually recognizing diplomatically the authorities that they regard as legitimate. And as soon as that happens, then we move following our membership. So we will continue to monitor that. I know that there are some members who are also looking at their respective positions. And as soon as that happens and we can actually identify the authorities, then we stand ready to move in and help and sort of harness all our resources if we are asked to help together with others.
In the statement following the 2019 spring meeting, global financial officials said risks to world economic growth were tilted to the downside due to factors such as trade tensions, policy uncertainty, and the sudden tightening of financial conditions.
As you see from the communique, we agreed that global expansion is continuing, but at a slower pace since the IMF last convened in October. While we expect to see a pick-up next year, trade tensions, geopolitical risks, and political uncertainties are among the challenges. So we agreed we need to act promptly to protect the expansion.
Earlier this week, the IMF cut its global growth outlook for the third time in 6 months.